Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sunstone, and today I am bringing you the 4th episode in my Coral Island Diaries series, the first of 2022. I'm actually going to be hosting a giveaway in this video, so be sure to stay tuned until the very end to find out more. So we're going to take it back just a little bit because the team did take a break from the developer diaries over the holidays, so we're going to go back to December 16th before they released the latest update. It looks like they're actually working on many different seasons, not just spring, not just winter. They're working on the fall season paint over. I'm so excited to see Coral Island in all 4 seasons. I think it's going to be so beautiful. I thought it was kind of interesting that they noted that Archie's getting a brighter smile. This note did make me wonder whether or not there will be a dentist on Coral Island, because I feel like that's an important service, and I don't know if maybe islanders are kind of accustomed to going to other islands or the mainland nearby to have certain appointments taken care of, but I do feel like a dentist would be on Coral Island. So I don't know if that's gonna be like a part of the clinic that's already existing. That would mean that we would actually need a dentist character though, so I'm not sure about that, but that just sparked thought anyway. Now, this is quite interesting. They worked on another variation of the umbul umbul, and in case you're unfamiliar with this feature, they are traditional Indonesian decorations that will indicate when there's a festival taking place, and these will all be customized specifically to each festival. So we've seen a standard design as well as one for the Cherry Blossom Potluck Festival and one for the Mooncake Festival. So they finished an additional umbul umbul, and interestingly, it's accompanied by a 4-leaf clover. I don't know what sort of festival could involve a 4-leaf clover other than something related to St. Patty's. That's the only festival I'm familiar with that incorporates 4-leaf clovers. Maybe it's more just related to plants and greenery, but it seems like a specific emoji to use. Let me know what you all think about this mysterious little clue we've been left. For the cooking mechanics, they're adding a feature where we can favorite a recipe, which will be super useful for if you're trying to gift your favorite NPCs their favorite meals. You might be cooking them a lot, and so if you can bookmark them or favorite them, that will make them more easily accessible. This also leads me to believe that there will actually be quite a number of recipes if having a favorite feature is something worth implementing to separate some recipes from the rest. So that's exciting. On December 17th, there wasn't really much that stood out to me, but they did finish the base color for Macy's room. She does live in the Coral Inn, so I wonder what sort of restrictions there are, if any, around the NPCs who live in the inn. I wonder if they have just one single room, sort of like a studio or a bachelor style. I feel like there's a lot of potential to do some really cool things with those rooms if that's the case. I've seen lots of really amazing designs for studios with like lofts and just really cool open concepts, fold out like Murphy beds, like things like that. One thing we can expect is that the color palette will match what we've seen of the character thus far, because they're doing a really great job of matching the color palette for the character outfits and the rooms that they're going to be occupying. So I love that. That used to be one of my favorite features. It still is, but I just kind of forget about it because it's done so well and so seamlessly. This is a note that I'm not sure about related to the museum. The donation box portion I understand, because I imagine that's where we'll donate anything that we collect around Coral Island, but I'm just wondering about this static mini-map concept that they're working on. Is this a mini-map of Coral Island that's in the museum, or is this a mini-map of the museum because it's so expansive, potentially? I mean, I'm just curious about mini-maps in general. I hope that they eventually implement a mini-map in the game as a whole. In the latest official developer update, they noted that the main objective for the Cherry Blossom Festival has been implemented in the alpha, so I'm wondering if that's at all related to this note, which says there's some sort of festival offering widget. I don't know if that means making an offering is the main objective. I don't know if this is just for all festivals and we'll always be making some sort of offering at them. I don't know if that's an offering to the community or to the Goddess of Flowers. I also don't know if this could be specifically for the Cherry Blossom Festival, since it is a potluck and maybe we're meant to bring a dish of our own and that's kind of the offering we're making. So many potentials for this, but I do think it would be interesting if some of the Coral 3 were involved in at least some of the festivals, so the Goddess of Flowers, the Giants, and the Merfolk. On December 22nd, they highlighted that the diving area is under development, which is something that we also saw in the latest developer update. They noted that in the next update, they're going to be overhauling a lot of those diving maps, which is something I'm definitely looking forward to. I love the improvements that they made in the mining levels. So they're essentially going through each of the levels of the earth mine and sort of overhauling them, adding little details, just making it more dynamic and more interesting to explore. And I'm imagining that they're going to be going through a sort of similar process for all the diving maps. So I'm definitely excited to see that. Now, this is something that may seem like a small detail, but it's actually going to become very crucial when you're interacting with NPCs, if that's a part of the game that you want to pay attention to, in terms of actually developing relationships with the characters, gifting items to the characters to level up your hearts with them. So on your relationship UI, you're gonna have a heart tracker that's gonna allow you to track exactly how well you're doing with that other character. But based off of this, it looks like we'll have different colored hearts depending on whether we are growing a romantic versus platonic relationship with that character. I'm hoping there's a way to still see a friendship through all the way with all of the dateables, even if we don't want to actually date them. I'm hoping we don't have to like cut it off at a certain point because we're not interested in them romantically. I feel like that could be also really complicated for them to implement, so I don't know. But anyway, the thing that I'm really excited about here is that they're implementing a love, like, hate, and dislike item list that's going to show up as a detail on the relationship UI. So you can track with pretty good detail exactly how they feel about the gifts you've given them. Having that actually being tracked in the game for you is so useful. There's actually a lot of characters you have to keep track of, and you might think in the beginning like, okay, I remember like Alice liked this, Raphael did not like this. As you get deeper into the game, you're gonna realize it's a lot more to keep track of than you thought, and you're probably gonna get things confused, so this is gonna be super helpful. So the very first developer diary for the year 2022 was posted on January 3rd, and the first thing that stood out to me is that they're actually putting a kitchen and a living room into the lighthouse. Now this sort of leads me to believe that someone actually may live there. Perhaps it's one of those 4 unrevealed mystery NPCs. Another cute little detail is that they're working on more item icons, and they added this cute little school satchel emoji with it. I'm definitely hoping for bags, and I'm hoping that this is indicative that we will be able to purchase like a backpack to be able to store more items in our inventory. They're also creating a ton of sign concepts. So for the general store, for the fish and sip or the tavern, for the beach shack, and for the ranch. So I'm looking forward to seeing these. I'm assuming these are exterior signs. I don't know if they're for the actual storefront or if they're going to be more like sandwich board kind of signs. Now what's super interesting here is they actually have 3 redacted sign concepts that they finished. In the latest developer update, it was noted that as we rank up our town, we may attract entirely new shops to the island. So I'm wondering if this whole thing going on here is related at all to that, or if it's something completely different. But just the fact that there's going to be additional buildings and spaces that we currently don't know of, that's awesome. And on January 4th, the highlight was that they were working on pufferfish and villain related assets. This is very interesting because they have pufferfish listed separately from villains. I'm assuming they're related, but potentially there's additional villains that are not a part of pufferfish. Also, the fact that villains is plural means that there's more than just Karen on Coral Island, who is kind of working against the greater good of the island. Huge potential that one of those mystery characters is another pufferfish employee. They're working on different villain cutscenes and creating music for these cutscenes. I do hope the villains are quite dynamic and not predictable. I hope the storyline is just a little bit out of the box from what we might expect. And then the final developer diary that we're going to be looking at in this video is from January 5th. They're working on modeling the exterior of pufferfish, which I am so looking forward to seeing. And then finally, which this tells us nothing, but I just wanted to point out that they're clearly working on something that they see as being a relatively big deal. They've finished modeling something that they can't share with us. The only reason why I say this is because they add a sus chicken. They censor things all the time and they never really add anything like this. So it just makes me feel like there's something significant that they're censoring. Not that I'll ever actually know if I'm correct or not and what that might be. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot more to this game than what we've seen so far. Even for the people playing the alpha, we might think we've seen, you know, a lot of it, and we have to some extent, but I am so sure that there's a lot more to this game than what they've revealed. There's gonna be a lot of surprises around the corner, a lot of things revealed this year, I think, and I'm so excited to just continue to learn more and more as the year goes on. So that is all for this episode of the Coral Island Diaries, and now it's time for your top comments. So these comments were from my last video, which covered the December 2021 developer update. The first is from Sky Angie. She said, "Love the update video. Great video, Sarah. You saved me so much time with all the information and updates combined in your video instead of going to the Discord to look for all of the information over there. So looking forward to the totems. They are so cute. Keep up the great work and happy holidays. Happy New Year." Thank you so much. I am so happy that this is the case because that's sort of the goal, you know? That's one of my objectives, is not only to connect with all of you and to share my passion for the game, but to also make it a little bit more simple. For example, these developer diary videos, instead of you having to go through, join Discord potentially if you don't already have a Discord, and read through all these notes, I'm trying to go through them for you and then pick out the things that might actually be more interesting to a lot of you and might mean something. So I'm so happy that this, along with posting about the official updates, is helpful. Thank you so much for that feedback. I love the little giant totems as well. I'm obsessed with this feature. We're gonna talk about it more in the podcast that will be live next week, so stay tuned for that. I'll link it in the description when it's up. Wickerman Harvest said, "I love this video. Here's my main 3 things from it. Number 1, the giants are my children now. That's the rules. They are so sweet. I'm so excited to meet the giants in the game. And number 2, the animals are still so cute. I would love that chicken on a shirt, glaring and judging people." They somewhat recently posted on their Instagram a couple of their team members wearing sus chicken shirts, and I'm now in need of one myself. So hopefully eventually that will be merch. And number 3, they said it might or might not be a possibility, but it'd be pretty cool if those mystery NPCs are the ones who end up coming to town to open new shops. So again, back to that whole, if you raise your town rank, you may attract new shops to Coral Island. I agree, it would be a really cool way to introduce them. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and ideas, and thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you so much everyone for commenting on that last video. Be sure to leave your thoughts down below on this one, and maybe you'll be featured in my next. And before I leave you today, let's take a look at today's amazing fan art. Since it's still essentially new into the new year, I wanted to share a couple more pieces of art that are New Year's themed. The first one is from Rachel, and she drew quite a lot of the characters from Coral Island at the tavern celebrating the new year. I thought it was so funny that Raphael looks like he doesn't want to be there, which is pretty on point with his character, who likes to stay home and be by himself in silence. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then the other one I wanted to share is from Melanie. She did some amazing art of her farmer and her original character Cade celebrating the new year with Raphael, Valentina, Theo, Macy, and Alice. I love the backdrop. I love Valentina. I'm such a huge fan of Valentina. She looks so cute. Her personality is shining through. This was another beautiful piece of art from Melanie. Be sure to show them both some love in the comments down below. And thank you both so much for sharing your amazing art with us. And that's not all. I said in the beginning of this video that I would be doing a giveaway, and that is correct. I'm happy you're still here. So I will actually be giving away one of the official 4K HD desktop wallpapers. That was one of the Kickstarter rewards. So this is the wallpaper that they featured in the latest developer update. We're also doing a giveaway for the mobile version on the podcast, so check out our next episode for more on that. So to enter to win, in your comment down below, be sure to add what your number 1 goal is for this year of 2022. It can be anything. It can even be related to Coral Island if your goal is to play the game. That's totally fine. You don't need to have any sort of depth. There's no pressure on what that goal is. You will have to be subscribed to my channel to be eligible. And just a disclaimer that this giveaway is not at all affiliated with Stairway Games or Coral Island itself. It is just coming from me. me. Any other questions that you may have should be answered in the description of this video, so go check that out for anything you may need to know. And there you have it, friends. That was the 4th episode of my Coral Island Diaries series. I'm so excited for what is to come for this game this year. As always, I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.